Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Davies and Fandom.
Yay, we're back. And
Yep.
I don't know if we are grumpy tonight. I have, after last week, determined not to be grumpy.
We were told we were slightly grumpy last week.
Yeah.
Which is probably fair. We were. Actually, before we start with episode 2 of the specials, in the last week, have you pondered more episode 1?
Yes. I still stand... No. I stand by half of what I said. And part of it links into the review of this episode. I stand by the fact it was too preachy. I've come out and said that. And the reason being is I criticised Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker's episodes for being preachy, and I'd be a hypocrite not to call out RTD for being preachy as well.
Yeah.
So I'm standing by that. It was preachy. It served a purpose, and loads of people, as we suspected, liked it. But for me, it was forced and cringy. So I stand by that. It is. I'll be a hypocrite not to do it.
I delved into the bile of the internet.
Oh,
I thought, rather
dear.
than just dispensing it for a change, I thought I'd taste some and see what it's like. And I either found people loved it or hated it.
Yeah, very polarising.
There was no, that's all right. And I think our view was, that's all right. But it wasn't. I think when I've spoken to people since, I've said, if you compare it to the Whittaker and Capaldi eras, it was the best thing ever.
Yes.
If you compare it to the Tennant era, it was an average episode that would be forgotten in a week.
Agree.
And I think that's the context of what you're comparing it to. If you're comparing Tennant to Tennant, sorry boys, it just doesn't compare. Whereas if you're comparing it to late era Whittaker, in case of different, it's great, it's wonderful, love it, thank you, please come again. And also, like with what we dubbed the 2023 stuff, I actually spoke to a few people who are in that community and sort of said, actually, from your standpoint, what do you reckon? And some of them said, yeah, it's all right. And others said, oh, it was a bit much. And others went, oh God, really? So I think you were right when you said it was a bit much, and the explanation of, oh, you're a man, you wouldn't understand, I'll just let it go kind of thing. People just went, really? And even those that are members of the community that it was aimed at, lots weren't feeling it. But by the same token, I think those that didn't feel seen previously and get referenced in a mainstream TV show, yeah, that's a thing. And I think, like we touched on last time, we are not the target audience. Two grumpy 40-year-old men are not it.
No, and I think that's it. I think, and I'll touch back on this as we do the review second thing. I think I naively thought, even though we talked about it and I said that it wouldn't be, I naively thought this would be one big celebration a la 50. It's not. Let's just face it. No. It's a mini series of 3 episodes, when really the final episode is going to be any significance. The other 2 are just a lead in and an introduction to Doctor Who. So that was my other thing. I was a little bit naive, even though I didn't know I was, if that makes sense. I went into it thinking, oh, it's going to be quite exciting. And actually, it was just a standard episode of Doctor Who. And spoilers, this one today was similarly, it's a standard episode with no kind of big self-referential kind of stuff that you get from like the 50th. So I think that's what we're going to get with these 3 episodes.
Yeah. My brain's gone. I was going to say something really clever and it's totally left me. It'll come back to me. Okay. It might not. Who knows?
Well, while you're thinking, the ratings were interesting. Do you see how the ratings were? Yeah, so I've got it here. I haven't got the consolidated ratings, so these are the ratings on the night.
Didn't they say like 5 million people watched or something?
5.08, which is surprising.
Is that good?
Well, yes and no. So it was up 1.4 million from The Power of the Doctor, Jodie's last episode.
Yeah. Before you tell me what the numbers are for the era that we're thinking of, wasn't it like 8-9 million back then?
Yes.
Or was that my imagination?
No, it was, where was it? I've got them here. I was looking at that. I didn't realise how high they were back then. Where is it? Yeah. Lord. So Tennant was season 2, 3 and 4. Season 2, 7.8 million average. Season 3, 8.1 million average. Season 4, 8.4 million average. So it's interesting. The ratings were interesting because everyone expected them to go up, but they didn't go up by much. And I'm not being cynical and I'm not having a go, but I'd expected more than a 1 million difference for Tennant alone pulling in a rating. Yeah. It was interesting.
Well, I think we've touched on this in the past. And obviously, back in that era, people consumed TV differently than they do now. Because actually, who watches TV anymore? All joking aside, but actually, like something live. And if you had, I don't know what the consolidated ratings are now. Is it within 7 days, 14 days?
Yeah, they're not out yet. I think it is within 7 days because it's all the iPlayer stuff as well, which I'm not really.
Yeah, and I think that would be different, probably more substantially. Like, for example, I know I watched it, but I had to watch it on iPlayer because I was home by 10 minutes late. So my viewing wouldn't count until consolidated, I guess. I don't know. I'm not the BBC.
No, and the ratings that everyone's quoting were released by the BBC, so I don't know how it all works. So, no, it's interesting. Yeah. I thought it'd be more. I don't know. Didn't think it'd be like up in the 8,000, 8 millions even. I just thought it'd be more than a 1 million jump. I thought it'd be a bit higher just because it's something new. It's David Tennant. But I'm interested to see what this one.
If it was, 3.5 million, something like that?
Yeah.
For Power of the Doctor, whatever it was. Surely that's still like a 25-30% increase from that era.
Yeah, I suppose if
you're getting a good number of people back.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the ratings are for tonight's episode and whether it'll probably drop off a little bit because it's novelty. I genuinely don't know, but I was surprised. I was expecting higher.
Yeah. So let's talk about tonight's episode then.
Yes. Wild Blue Yonder. Is that right? Because I can never say it right.
Wild, wide.
Why?
Something Blue Yonder.
Yes.
Yes. Something Blue Yonder.
I thought it was good.
It was alright, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was right. It's alright.
That was anticlimax, wasn't it?
It was right. We're done now, everyone. It's
End
alright.
of podcast. Done. Yeah, next week. See you later.
No, it's... Yeah. Go ahead.
I think I like the fact that it was just the two of them.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of the episode from season 4. Is it Midnight? Where they're on a train.
Oh, Tennant and what's her face? Yeah, and it's just them bouncing off each other. Yeah, and there's like the passengers. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yes. Yeah. And actually, the two of them just riffing and getting to act at each other and against themselves and figuring it out with the audience and suddenly you go, and like the fact that the Doctor's a smart ass was his biggest weakness. Because like Donna just went, I can do the not thinking. The Doctor's going, nah, I can't do it. I have to like work out what the problem is.
Yeah, I thought it was a good Doctor Who episode. Again,
yes,
it's not like Celebration. It's just a standard Doctor, but a good one with a good mystery. And I think that's the hook was, well, what's going on here? How are they going to get out of this? Very standard Doctor Who stuff, but it worked. I thought it was good. And like you said,
and the fact that the audience doesn't know what's going on, and we're figuring it out at the same time the Doctor and Donna are. I wish I'd sat with you when this was on, when they mentioned the flux.
Oh, good God. Yeah, that was the only negative thing is they've basically acknowledged the timeless child in that whole scene, and they've
when he's going, I was born on Gallifrey, and we go, well, actually, you don't know where you're from. Shut up. This is wrong. Behave. Delete that from history.
So I suppose that if you're going to go to that part of the internet again this week, that is what everyone will be having a go. He's acknowledged it. He's not going to retcon it. So it's disappointing that. I suppose part of me thought maybe we're just going to forget about it, like it didn't really happen. But no, he's doubled down on it.
Well,
so
I keep seeing like promo artwork for, where like they have all the doctors in the semi V shape, with the current one at the front. I keep seeing promo artwork, and I don't know if it is real BBC artwork or just someone doing it because they think it looks cool. But obviously you've got Ncuti Gatwa in front, and then the older doctors behind. But they've included what's the timeless child doctor? The runaway. What the
Joe Martin.
Yeah, what's her name?
The fugitive
that doctor appeared. Yeah, the fugitive doctor. That appears in the artwork. And I'm going, okay.
Yeah, I think it was official. I saw that a week or so ago, and I thought that's interesting. So it's disappointing. I'm not gonna dwell on it too much. It's a shame because it's just messed it up anyway. But obviously, is he actually going to touch on it in series 15, or is he just going to leave it alone? Who knows? I suppose it's there in the back pocket.
You mean series 1, right?
Oh god, yeah, it's not. Yes, of course. Series 1 of the Whooniverse. Whooniverse.
Yeah. Series 1, Part 2, Episode 7, Millwall 4.
So I guess, Flux and that aside, there wasn't many negatives. I thought the Isaac Newton thing was a bit twee at the start.
Yeah.
And although the running joke about her saying mavity instead of gravity was quite funny, I thought that was quite good. But a little bit twee. But
it's one of those things we go, did it add anything? No. Are we going to get complaints about it? Hell yeah.
Well, it reminded me of the Stephen Moffat style of writing. I want to put a dinosaur in London in Victoria. Now I'm going to build a story around it. I'm going to do this. It just felt a bit unnecessary. But anyway, this was an episode about the budget as well, wasn't it? It was as if they thought, we need to show people how good our CGI was. And for most part, it wasn't bad. And then for other parts, it was
awful.
Yeah. The big, spaceship style background's really good. Some of the stuff that the manipulation of Doctor and Donna's faces was like 2006 kind of CGI. It was bad, really bad.
And when they grew and filled the corridor and were like squidged, I went, this reminds me of Nightmare from like the 90s.
There were. Yeah. It was interesting choices. It was like really good and really bad, and there was no middle ground. The CGI was like, this is really cool, and then it was like, oh no, this is really awful. So I don't know. So it's like the budget stretched far enough, no pun intended, but it didn't really stretch that. To the end.
I thought the robot was fantastic.
Yeah, robot was good
as a prop piece. I looked and went, oh, that's someone spent some effort on that. That was really nice. Again,
they're kind of physical real life characters like Meep last week was really good, and equally again they've built something really nice, and the set was really good when it wasn't CGI. It's a nice simple set and it works. So it's some really good stuff. It looks nice.
I think also it had that nod to the old days of running down corridors.
It's one big long corridor.
Yeah, that's all you need. Just a corridor. But the fact they were able to set a story in a corridor.
Yeah, effectively. It was good writing. It wasn't, ignoring all the hoo-ha last week, it wasn't a very good story. It wasn't really coherent. This one was a really good, tight script, and it worked. And it was, like I said, there were so many nice little points with the Doctor trying not to think, but having to think because he wants to think, and Donna and the concept, and lots of little concepts there woven into the script. The thing with the line of salt and the little foreshadowing at the end, lots of little bits that are in that script that you think, this is good stuff. This is proper Doctor Who.
Yeah. It's dawned on me that last week we spent an hour just raging, basically. And this week we've just gone, 10 minutes, it was good. Enjoyed it, solid, happy days.
Right, finish now.
But I think that's the joke. It's when you just get a good episode. You just went, that was just good. There, again, nothing groundbreaking, nothing new. Actually, it was probably the nods to the old that made it a good episode. It's a case of, yes, Doctor and companion in a corridor, running from a monster, which happens to be them, which was cool. And the fact that they didn't over-explain it, they just went, these are creatures from the edge of the universe that have appeared, and you don't know why, because they don't know why. You just don't know. There was no Deus Machina fix. It was just, no, outsmart them, see you later, peace out, TARDIS. Admittedly, the speeding up the countdown, saying, oh, well, actually, the TARDIS would turn up at the exact moment. You're thinking, okay. Again, Deus Machina kicks in.
Yeah, it's the old Moffat reset button. Not as big as last week, but it was still kind of there.
It was a big red button.
It was, generally a big red button again. Although it was interesting, the mistake he made at the end when he picked the wrong Donna. Now, that was interesting. And I thought she would have had more of a go at him for it. But he made a mistake there. And it wasn't, it was the TARDIS that saved him and saved her. And I thought there's probably no room to expand on that because it's not if it was a full series, he made a mistake and he picked the wrong one. And that doesn't often happen. So, it was a shame that they're not going to explore that anymore, I don't think. The fact that he's fallible.
Is that setting up the fact he is fallible ready for next week? We don't know. It could just be a subtle little thing saying, well, actually, he's omnipotent, but not.
Yeah, not completely.
Yeah. Obviously, the big thing at the end of the episode.
Wilf!
Yeah! Oh! I'm not ready than I was.
I was kind of waiting for it, thinking he's got to be it, because they showed the shot. I think I mentioned it last time of the Doctor Who Confidential one. He was at the read through, so he was there.
Yeah.
Yes, fine. He did look old though, didn't he? But then last time he was in it was when was that? That was like 15 odd years ago. So it's it's time moves on, but it's nice to see him. It's nice to see Byrne. Yeah. So that's good.
And obviously they're back in London.
Whenever that we didn't actually establish how long had passed since they left. So that's it. That'll be interesting to see. Has it been days, months, years?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one. So you've got the Celestial Toymaker coming back, which is going to be cool. Neil Patrick Harris is going to act on stage. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be interesting how they're going to have to explain for the non-viewer. And actually, to be fair, I don't know much about it. The Toymaker, take my Doctor Who badge, but I know of it, but don't really know the story because I know it's one of the lost episodes, isn't it? And I'm surprised they didn't release that with the animation in time for this, but obviously they didn't. But they're going to have to explain who the Toymaker is in quick fashion in an hour. Set up who that...
Hour and 5.
Hour and 5. Well, we don't count the last 5 minutes. So that'll be good. And we saw have you seen the trailer for it? The little mini... No,
yes.
Was it? Yes, with you see Shooty at the end, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, in Tennant's clothes. So they're going back to... Obviously, I know why they didn't do it for 13 to 14. Yeah. But they're going back to the tradition now. Didn't
RTD specifically state that he did not want Tennant regenerating into her clothes because basically that scene would be used to destroy Doctor Who. Yeah. So everything had to change at the same time.
So people would just use that. Pointless. So I agree with him on that. I think it would have been too distracting. So, so next week's... It's been an interesting thing. I think it's genuinely been just a very small mini series of episodes, really. even less so than when Tennant did the specials. I'm ignoring Jodie Whittaker's specials. They felt like more.
She did specials.
Yeah. The previous series, she did one at Easter, one at when she regenerated, and the one in New Year. So they were specials. She didn't do a full series. Yeah. But the series 4, proper series 4 specials, felt bigger episodes than these. I don't know. So bigger. They felt more. They felt bigger episodes. These just feel like 3 Doctor Who episodes that have been sewn together.
Well, the fact that Tennant's regeneration was a 2-parter because of the madness that it was. And I don't know why, but a 1-episode regeneration feel... okay, my fear is it's going to feel rushed because we've got to explain the toy maker, deal with the problem. Are we going to get an answer to the big question, why this face?
Yeah, which he said that we will get one.
And then we've got to obviously get an ending. So is that going to just feel condensed in an hour?
Yeah, because it's not even... It's just an hour and like the extra 5 minutes for the... Obviously, the end of it. I don't know. And the thing is... And also, how are they going to get rid of Donna? Because she isn't staying. Is he just going to leave? Or is he... How's that going to work?
I don't know. And part of me, there's a little hopeful part of me that still is thinking that he can just do it by choice and actually resolve on a story, leave her on the front door, peace out, had enough of this, change.
Yeah.
Without needing to.
I don't know. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah. Because if it's a traumatic regeneration, then Donna's going to see that, and then how do you get a companion change without... Oh, yeah. I don't know. Who knows?
Who
knows?
Many things.
Yeah. Ba-boom. Forgive the pun. But, so back to Wide, whichever it is, Blue Yonder, that we've basically touched on a bit. Other than it being... It was good. Have we got to be able to say other than it was all right? It was good. Enjoyed it.
It was good. I think
right. I think my problem with the mini-series specials so far is they're not memorable.
Yeah. That's
There's no Blink, there's no Family of Blood, there's no bang, I'm here. And
I think what you said last week about the curse of fandom rings true here.
Yeah.
Russell T Davies, we all have that view of him being this great Doctor Who writer. He's written all these wonderful things, although some of those stories you mentioned he didn't write. And I think possibly him coming in, we expected things to be perfect, and they've not been perfect for different reasons. Last one was like the political minefield that it was. This week's was just a good episode, but it wasn't special. And I think next week's will just be an end of series finale episode. Yeah. And I'm going to be critical, because I want to step out into that minefield again. But
that's unlike you, Tim, to be critical.
Russell's, if you remember, because I think it's rose-tinted glasses, no pun intended, Russell's end of series episodes were never that good. The one before it was always really good, like the penultimate episode. But so series 1 possibly, because it was all new. Series 2 had the thing with the Cybermen and the Daleks. Series 3 had the really good shift from Derek Jacobi into John Sim, and then you had all the Toclafane nonsense and the what was it, the Gollum Doctor in the cage. Series 4 doesn't really count because it was Tennant's regeneration. So he didn't write very good final episodes. I never thought, anyway.
Have you just Indiana Jones Doctor Who? by lifting the veil and just going, well, actually, oh no. Oh dear, what have you done?
For me, it was always a massive anticlimax. And even Moffat was the same. That they could build the story up, but the final episode never lived up to what came before it. I think series 3 for me was always the one that was like, it's really good. Oh, right.
Oh no.
It's a Gollum doctor in a bird cage. So rose tinted glasses. Everyone thinks Russell T Davies is the second coming. It might be as bad as it was back then, and we're just expecting it to be really good.
Yeah.
I think I'll happily be proved wrong. But
so hopefully, because there's no cliffhanger involved, it will just be good.
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
Yeah, because we've had our cliffhanger into the series finale now, haven't we? So, but I don't know. I think after last week's experience of having everything kind of be completely subverted, I now think, well, actually, I'm now overthinking the opposite. Whereas before I was, Russell's coming back, it's going to be amazing. Oh, no, it's all different. It's not 2005 anymore. I'm now thinking, actually, some of his episodes weren't that good. So if we get Russell not on his best...
You mean the Oscar worthy of Zorbeloff? That was... oh, Christ.
Yeah, so we might end up...
Because that was RTD, wasn't it?
I'm sure it was. Let's have a quick look.
Yeah.
It must have been.
Whereas Blink, Midnight, they were both Moffat, weren't they?
Midnight. Blink definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Midnight. Was that?
I think Midnight was.
No, Russell T Davies.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What about Family of Blood?
That was Moffat. Was it Gatiss? I think that might be because it was a book, wasn't it? First, with Seventh Doctor, Paul Cornell, because of course he wrote the book.
Yeah.
So it's not always what you think. I'm trying to think of other ones that were really good.
So have we been Girl in the Fireplace, the classic? I love her.
We know why, but it wasn't a great story.
Doesn't matter. I love her. That episode had nothing wrong with it because
Stephen Moffat.
Yeah, that was I knew that one.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just love Sophia Miles, and she knows this, and I know this. It's fine.
Right, we're drifted off now. We're drifted off point. Get back on point.
Yeah, bring me back.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I'm.
So have we been hoisted by our own fandom petard? Case of we're just going, we're just so... Yeah, is it a case that we were so dejected that now we're so hyped for it that actually, like we said, unless it's a second coming, and even then, it's not going to be? Because you've had an episode of Doctor Who and a solid episode of Doctor Who, and now we're waiting for the difficult third album kind of thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just looking at this series 3. This was it. Blink, Utopia, The Sound of Drums, all were just like 3 episodes. And he rolled into the last of the Time Lords. I was like, Gollum Doctor in the thing. So I forgot about there was Sound of Drums in between there, but it's still a thing. Russell wrote. Stephen Moffat obviously wrote Blink, and then Russell wrote the last 3. So. Yeah, it is interesting. Series 4, you had Turn Left, where you had the Donna doing the thing that was written by Russell, and then Stolen Earth and Journey's End were like were great. So I don't know. I am suspiciously optimistic.
Hopefully they can stick the landing. And actually, if it had been like a 3-parter, would we now be having our Return the King moment where you just go, well, actually, Fellowship's good, Two Towers is fantastic, and Return of the King is just too long and doesn't quite get there.
I don't know. It remains to be seen. I think we talked about it multiple times. We were never going to get a multiple Doctor thing. Everyone thought we would. We're not going to get that. And I think that's probably hindsight because of the state the series is in at the moment anyway. It needs that reboot more than it needs a celebration. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Oh, I'm going to claim that phrase. And they've gone full in on the reboot rather than to self-reference and celebrate and bring back old faces.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're trying to appeal to the new fans.
Yes.
Because that's what you need, because the old fans currently hate you.
Because 10 years ago, they were pulling in 7, 8 million viewers. They could do it because they were top of the tree. They ain't top of the tree anymore. And 5 million viewers says they're still not quite there yet. No. And you talked about it. They've got to set it up for Shooty, haven't they? So really, this isn't about Tennant and Catherine Tate. This is about Shooty and Molly Gibson, about setting it up and in a good place for Christmas. Yeah,
it's the old standing on the shoulders of giants, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, if they'd have come back just with Shooty and Molly, then you just go, it would have. Oh, could you imagine?
I don't think, fair to him, it would not have. It would have worked, but it wouldn't have been as good. I think this way it gives them that buffer between to get it on track and then just launch him into Easter. Yeah, you're using like the Tennant fan base goodwill effectively to pump those numbers to give him the best chance. Because could you imagine this was episode 2 of his mini series to get us to Christmas, and 5 million would be a pipe dream. Yeah. If episode 1, you get a few because they're looking at who's new, but then you go, oh, actually, is it going to hold? And if it was at 3.5 with Jodie's exit, which are always the high numbers. In some ways.
Because I know I watched it just to make sure she was bloody gone.
It'll be really interesting.
Oh, I'm going to get so much hate mail for this.
Oh, the minefield. You're in the minefield. Come back.
Abort, pull out.
It'd be really interesting to see what the ratings are for this episode. I'm just intrigued to see how it'll drop, but it's how far it drops. If it drops into the 3s, they've got a problem. If it drops into mid to late 4s, they're okay, I think, because that's kind of the drop off.
I think the 3 specials will hold.
Yes, I agree.
I honestly do. I think the Christmas special needs to reach the same numbers as Tennant Special 1, i.e. last week's episode.
Yeah, 5 million.
Because you've got, it needs to hit 5 million. Because if it doesn't, again, you haven't retained those that were interested a week ago. And that could be really telling.
Just trying to see what time the Christmas special is on Christmas Day. Don't think it's been released. What time did it used to be on at Christmas? It used to be on about 7:30ish, didn't it? 8 o'clock.
I don't know. Sometimes on about 6. So any time between like 6 and 8.
Well, time travels weirdly on Christmas Day, doesn't it? It's a bit like...
Yeah. I'm sure I remember watching a 5:30 at night kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, you might be right.
Yeah, because you do your Christmas dinner, you've done that by 3, open some presents, and then you're ready for Doctor Who. Yeah, I want to say like 5, 6 p.m.
Yeah, it's not been announced. Obviously, it's a bit too far away at the moment. Yeah, so I imagine it'd be at the same time, sort of 6:37ish. Yeah,
but again, I think they're going to need... I mean, can they hit 5 million on Christmas Day? Because you've got a captive audience, and it's the big thing.
Let's have a look what the ratings were like for Christmas Day. There we go. So, Voyage of the Damned. Here we go. Quiz time, folks.
Yeah.
We'll go. How many million? So this is actually we'll go in reverse order. So let's start with. I think these are all up to date because I think it's stopped after this website's a little bit out of date. But let's have a look. Remember this one, Return of Dr. Mysterio. I forgot about that one.
Return of Doctor
Capaldi.
Mysterio.
And the
Did I watch
guy
that
who
one?
thought he was a superhero.
Oh yeah, I watched that one.
Guess how many million do you think?
0.1.
8.21 million.
Really?
Yep. Next one.
Wow.
Husbands of River Song. Well.
7.
8.27. I'm going up, so that's a clue. I'm going up.
Oh, right. Bloody hell.
Twice Upon a Time, so that was Capaldi's regeneration episode.
8.5.
Ooh, 8.28. Runaway Bride, so first one, Catherine Tate.
8.7.
9.35.
Look at me.
Last Christmas. 12th Doctor. Don't even remember what happened in it. That's really bad.
Oh, is that his regeneration one?
No. It's got a picture that I can't see what happened in it. Oh, was it the one? No, it was Matt Smith with the wooden people and the thing.
The wooden people in the thing?
Yeah, and the thing in the Victorian era. I don't even know what that is. Anyway, 9.62 million. Christmas Invasion, I've got to go through the exam board. 9.84 for Christmas Invasion. Snowmen, that was the one with Richard E. Grant. That was good. That was Clara, first Clara, second Clara. 9.87 million. There we go. The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe. That's the thing with the wooden people. 10.77 million.
Bloody hell. Time
of the Doctor. That was his regeneration. 11.14 million.
I remember being bored out my skull.
End of Time Part 1. 12.4 million. Which you'd understand. Yeah. You're going to get angry for this one. Top 3. Number 3. A Christmas Carol.
Oh.
With Michael Gambon, sadly died. And Catherine Jenkins. 12.11 million.
How? That episode.
Oh.
Just got so angry.
I forgot about this one.
Bite down on. Hang on. It's fine. It's not a problem.
I forgot about that one. The Next Doctor. Remember that one? I forgot about about that one.
with Meaty Boy.
Yeah, 13.1 million. And Voyage of the Damned, 13.31 million. Wow. It's never going to reach that height ever again, is it, realistically? But 13 million.
So the lowest is in the 8th.
Yeah, there you go. And that was when the average was 7 and 8s for those series. But the lowest was in one of Capaldi's poorest episodes, 8 million on Christmas Day. So there you go. There's a benchmark. If they can hit, if they can hit 7, I think they're doing pretty well.
But 7 would still be the lowest watched one ever, and this is the problem they've got. They've
it's captive audience.
They're in a hiding to nothing.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, they're not going to get anywhere near Voyage of the Damned.
No, that's we've already said. The reasons, lots of reasons why, not just the fact that it's not as popular. When you're looking at New Year's specials, 3.4 million was last year's one. Hang on, what year are we in? 22? No, year before last. Just Googled it. So, yeah, interesting. They got to hit 7 or 8 to be anywhere up there, and they can't go lower than 5.
That's a hell of an ask.
Well, if the trend goes up, then they're looking all right. But if it doesn't go up, I'm not an expert, but they'll carry on. It's not like they're going to stop, is it?
Well, I don't know. How committed are the Beeb/Disney/Whovians Studios, whatever they're called?
There's a lot of money being thrown at it, hasn't it? So
yeah,
I can't imagine they wouldn't just cancel it. Depends. I suppose it depends what everyone's contracts is. Like if RTD's signed in for 3 years, say.
Yeah, well, we joked, didn't we, and said Chewie could have regenerated and left before his episode even aired.
Well, he's done 2, so he's on his second one. So RTD's done 3 effectively, or 2.5. So, but it's his own company, though, isn't it? It's not as if he's signed up to the BBC. It's his company that's doing the production. So it's all the wranglings of TV. It's like, is it worth the investment? Blah blah blah. We talked about that before, about cancelling it versus not cancelling it. Don't know. Certainly be around for a couple of years yet. Because you think about it, Shooty will do 1 season next year, that's 2024. He'll do a Christmas special 24, another one in 25. So you're looking at early 26, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll just roll on.
Yeah. And the fact that you can almost take your watch by it, it's 3 seasons and go. We haven't had a Tom Baker, I'm doing 74 million seasons and never leaving.
I don't think we will. I think Shooty is in the same position that Matt Smith was coming in, young actor on the way up. Not selfishly, but he'll use it as a springboard to do other things. Yeah. He'll leave after 3 seasons.
Matt Smith was unknown, wasn't he?
Completely unknown. Shooty's slightly different, isn't he? Yeah,
because obviously he was in the Barbie movie, he's done Sex Education, he's
done a lot of stuff on TV, whereas Matt Smith had only done theatre, hadn't he, really?
Yeah.
And actually, to be fair, Tennant was similar. He'd done some TV, but not on some film that year, but he wasn't...
Yeah.
He was in the same kind of boat in the sense that he wasn't well known.
No, he was not a household name.
No, and Capaldi, yes. And Whittaker, yes, to a certain extent, because she'd done quite a lot of TV as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So no, I don't know. So I think that's it. We've gravitated away from the gravity well at the end of the universe. But
I think going back to Great Well at the end of the universe, I think the reason why we haven't talked about it much is because there was nothing to really get us to hit up out.
It wasn't controversial. It wasn't.
Yeah, we didn't have to spend half an hour avoiding the elephant in the room. It was it was a Doctor Who episode. It was a good one.
It was a good episode, and that's it. Sometimes you've got
7
that's
out
all
of
you
10
can say.
would do again. Yeah.
I
think that's a problem. We're expecting episodes at a 10 out of 10, and we're getting an episode 1, which I'm not going to give a score to because I get shouted at, and episode 2 was a 7. Would watch again, but probably not after that because it's. No. I think this is the problem when you get there's a mystery. You can't watch it again unless you just want to pick up the things you missed the first time because the mystery is solved.
Yeah, so I suppose you could probably go back and some of their acting was done really well, and you could probably watch some of the nuances of the aliens versus them to try and spot the difference and stuff like that. But it's just a normal episode. And I think
talking of spotting the difference between the aliens and them. So when the aliens first appear, the Doctor copy is far better than the Donna copy.
Because he's thinking more.
If you look at him, he's far more active and interactive.
Yes.
Whereas the Donna copy was
a bit like a robot.
Hello, I am Donna. Yeah. And hadn't quite.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nuances.
Okay. Nuances. Like that.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, it's little things like that which you could probably go back and go, "Ooh, that's quite good."
Yeah, and I think that's the sort of thing you need for a second watch through because you don't spot it the first time round. Whereas the actual mystery itself, you're not interested at that point. You're just going, "Oh, what are the nuances?" Like the Doctor versus Donna thing.
Yeah. Cool. Yes. Okay. I think that's a good place to end on, isn't it? Positive. This week. Positive.
Yes, for a change.
Yes.
So next week is episode 13.
13. Called The Giggle. I know what it's called.
Yes.
And why don't you speak in a high pitched voice?
13. Yeah, that was my. I'm not sure of my answer. the less sure I become, the higher my pitch goes. So we're expecting good things. We have made peace with the fact it's not going to be the second coming of Jesus.
Nope.
It's not going to be a multi-doctor story.
Nope. It's going to be...
might be in it for 5 minutes.
Unit will be in it because What's-Her-Face hasn't been in it yet. And they're going to regenerate somewhere because if you saw it on the trailer, Tennant, the background behind Tennant was also cloudy blue, blanked out like Shooties was. So wherever they're regenerating is somewhere significant. Watch this space.
Interesting times. Yeah. And so that'll be our 3rd episode in as many weeks.
Wow.
I feel sorry for you, Tim. Yeah, I feel sorry for you.
That's tomorrow morning's job. Get this out quickly. Beat the rush.
Well, we did well this time. There was no stopping, no swearing, no ranting. So be fine.
Smiles all round.
Yeah. I think it was. To rank these specials so far, 1, 2.
It's such a really complex ranking system.
Yes. I could have shocked everyone and said 1, 2, but I would be lying.
Oh, right. On that note, I shall say cheerio until next weekend.
And I shall say ta-ta, bye-bye.